Hey everybody, it's John again from Gasper's Automotive Restoration, and we've got this fire truck from Slate Hill, New York. It's a 1958 Chevy, and we're going to be working on it over the next couple months. Wanted to give you guys a quick little overview of this truck. It's the latest truck to come into our shop, so stay tuned. Okay, so this is a 58 Chevy. The fire department was saying it was a 57, but judging by this front clip here, quad headlights means 58 to me, or possibly even 59. I'm not sure exactly, but this is a really cool truck. It's all original. I don't believe it's ever been repainted or re-lettered, judging by the gold leaf and stuff. Very 50s style. The gold leaf is starting to fall off a little bit here. You can see it's kind of falling off here. This is real gold. You can see the shine from my hand here, a little bit of light from the sun. So this is original, and somebody wrote this down here. It's kind of cool. It's in a little different color. It's in white paint. Slate Hill Fire District. So I don't know if this truck was maybe purchased by somebody and then this department bought it, or what, but or maybe they were called Wawayanda Volunteer Fire Company before. We'll have to see, but let's do a little walk around here. Here's the pump panel. So the pump panel here has it's pretty much complete. I don't see anything really missing from it. Oh, the original gauges here, Maxim Motor Company. So we got a Chevy Maxim here. This truck was just delivered yesterday on Father's Day, and this is the first time I am seeing it, and all they did was tell me it was a Chevy. So the fire body's Maxim, so that's kind of cool. That keeps it local into New England here, Middleborough, Massachusetts. Let's check out these compartments here. What we got going here? Pull chain. There it goes. Kind of cool. Somebody put these stickers on here way back in the day. This is a popular thing to have back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They had these like plastic stickers, and you had a little machine that you would roll them through, kind of like a typewriter sort of thing, and you can make these things. I personally hate them, but that was a very popular thing to use back then. But these compartments are in really good shape. There's not a lot of rot in here compared to most trucks, so that's pretty good. We're not doing anything cosmetic on this truck, so that doesn't matter. But all right, we'll leave that for later. And we got the rear axle here. I did see a lug nut and a retainer, and there it is. Lug nut and retainer missing here. Didn't get put back on the wheel. Something didn't happen there. I got to address that, make sure this thing is not going to fall off. But tires are Fleetmaster Super Lugs. They've seen better days. They need to come off and be replaced. That's part of our job. We're going to do a full brake job on this truck. We're going to get it running. We're going to do full service, electrical work, cooling system, you name it. Let's see what's in here. Oh, sounds like a haunted house. All right. Oh, they got the look at this. They got the cool. There's the interior light for one of the compartments. Those are pretty neat. And then you got the pegs there for all the different couplings and adapters and everything else, and all the threaded mounts on here. You can thread on your different nozzles and stuff. That's pretty cool. So this was obviously a pump operator compartment here. Sounds like Tales to the Crypt here. All right, these things aren't working too good. Oh, what's going on in here? Drew's got the 52 Chevy going. He's going to be pulling this thing out. We got to get the dump truck, the Maxim dump, in here. I got a project at the Connecticut Fire Truck and Bus Museum this coming weekend on Saturday, and we've got an oil leak on this guy. I don't know what's going on, but he's going to pull that in and check it out. That's a workhorse over there. 98 Chevy. I've done a video on that before. Here comes the Grafton Chevy Rescue here. This thing's running really good. It's cold right now, but that guy warm up. Man, it looks nice in the sun. Gotta love that patina on there. It's really, really nice. And here's the back of the truck here. Here's the tank fill right here. Got a female 2.5 swivel on here. This is 3 of 48. So March of 48. So this piece here was put on later, because this is definitely not a 1948 truck, unless this body came off of an older truck for some reason, but it doesn't look like that at all. This looks like a 50s, definitely a 50s style body, but that's interesting that that's on there. Somebody might have just put that on there and changed it out, probably with the original. Maybe it got damaged and they just found this at the firehouse, they put it on, or maybe they bolted this thing on later, an older piece from the old truck. Let's see if we can get this open. Nope, doesn't want to open. That's your tank fill there. And looks like the pike pole storage here. This is kind of cool. Got a rod going through here with a cotter pin. That's pretty cool. A lot of mouse nest up there. Mice were having field day. Like. And this side, same compartments, same wheel deal with the wheels. When they went to move this truck, they to bring it here, they said they had all 4 wheels locked up. Then they got under there with a hammer, and I told them how to release the brakes and stuff, and they got 3 of the 4 wheels going. One of them they couldn't. They said one of the rear ones was stuck. So I see some marks here on the ground. I'm assuming it's this guy here that's stuck, but we'll find out shortly. I think a good way to unstick a wheel is to get the engine fired up and just put it in first gear and dump the clutch and hammer on it. We'll break that thing loose real quick. No, we don't do that, but we're gonna get the engine going, and we're gonna use the engine power here to get things going. See if we can get this guy open here. Okay, had a little heck of a time getting that hood open there, but let's check this out. It's got 2 12-volt batteries in here. So we got a dual battery system. I think they're just in parallel, and that would make sense just for added reliability to have extra juice. So we're gonna have to investigate that. One battery will work for now, just to get this thing rolling over. This thing is pretty much untouched. Looks like somebody put some spark plug wires on here, maybe, and somebody did that, you know, relatively recently, maybe in 20 years ago, 25 years ago. That's definitely not original, so we got something going there. And here's the engine cooler belts. I think we got over here for the belts. We got extra service belts. Yeah, it looks like they're from the 60s. And it's got the wonderful, is this a Lease Neville alternator on here? I think this is a Lease Neville. I gotta get some steel wool or something here to see what this is, but I'm guessing by the shape of this is Lease Neville. Looks like a regular alternator. It's not the one with the rectifier, which is good because I hate those. They're just a pain to rebuild and get fixed. You got to find somebody that knows all that stuff, and they're just a pain. So here's your regulator back here. Looks like a normal setup here. It's got an external, probably an external regulator alternator kind of deal. That's what the early ones were kind of like. So we'll have to get in there and investigate all this stuff. But you can see the Chevy bow tie on the engine here. That's cool. I'm guessing 58. This is a 348. That's a total guess, but judging by the W style valve covers, it's that family of engine at least. We'll have to find out, but a 348 is pretty good motor. I've seen that in a lot of cars at car shows. Where's the here? Let's check the oil. What we got going here? It's full, and it actually doesn't look that bad. I could definitely run this on that oil. I don't see any water. Right on the mark. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's check out this. The heck kind of fuel radiator cap is this? 17-pound cap. I don't know if that's right or not for this engine. That might be too high of a pressure. I have a feeling it shouldn't be that high. Somebody just stuck this thing in here. We'll find out about that. Nothing in there. It's dry. So we'll have to throw some water in. Let's see what's under here. See if the mice got in here. Not too much. I don't think they got in here. If they did, they ended up in the bath of oil and then they died. And there's no sign. There's just a little bit of remnants here, but got a 5-mile long screw here. Okay, we're back here. Had to take the air cleaner off. Interesting little carburetor here. What is this? What's the deal with this thing? What's the deal with this guy? What does it say? PP? What is this thing? Some early Rochester? RP? Is it RP? RP. I think it's an early Rochester. I have never seen a carburetor like this before. Oh yeah, here it is. It's a 4-jet, Rochester 4-jet. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. We're gonna have to probably get that rebuilt. I doubt that's gonna work, but oh, here you got the window. It's got points in it still. That's a good thing. We like points here at the shop. It's got the little window here. Let's see if this opens up. Nope, rusted shut. Okay, little oiler back here for your distributor. Nobody ever oils that, so that's probably all worn out. Here's the Sun tachometer transmitter. So it's got a tachometer transmitter for the engine RPM. That's interesting. That's really cool. Electronic tachometer transmitter for the dash. So it's got a electric RPM gauge inside. That's pretty neat. It's not mechanical, it's electrical. Cool. Then we got a solenoid here. Does it have the button on the bottom? Nope. That's probably fine. Everything else is untouched here. So we got oil, we got no coolant, and we got to get rid of these batteries. So I think the first thing here is going to be to get a couple of batteries ordered, and going to get some fresh gas in the tank, and come back and revisit it once we get all that figured out. Throw a wrench on the flywheel down there and see if we can get this thing to turn. I bet you it turns, but we'll see, and then we'll fire this thing up hopefully. One advantage of working at the shop here is we pretty much have all the tools we need in one spot, so that's kind of nice. Let's just try this. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, it kind of sucks, but let's just see if this thing turns. Nope. I just keep tightening the bolt. And unfortunately, it's an 11/16 or 7/16 bolt, so that's not gonna not going to fly. I'm going to have to come up with another plan here. Put some oil in these cylinders and try to turn it some other way. Okay, we've got some updates here. I went and lubed up the carburetor here, and she's moving pretty good. Got the choke rod here moving. I haven't tried it inside, but I put some Freol on it, so we got that going there. Looks pretty clean inside the carburetor. I think it'll work at least to test it. Cleaned up the alternator here and battery connection on it. It's this truck's 12 volts negative ground, so we got some new interstates here. Brand new interstates. We use interstate batteries here at the shop all the time. And we got all the connections cleaned, put on there properly, tightened up. Everything's nice and clean, and ready to rock and roll here to test fire it. But we want to make sure and see if this thing is stuck still. So now I'm pulling out spark plugs. So let's see, I got one out already. Trying to drop that. Here's our plug here. Dirty, but not bad really. It's a little rich, but who knows when the last time that was ran. Here's the first one I pulled out. Same thing. Okay, not great, not terrible, just kind of inert. Gonna take the rest of these plugs out. Yep, same thing. All right, we'll pull the rest of these out and then see what it looks like. Okay, so we've got these spark plugs here, and these are in order in the way they came out. So Chevy, Dodge, American Motors, anybody on the planet other than Ford has a firing order of 1357 and 2468. This is a Chevy, of course, so it's the same. Ford is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you gotta get your head wrapped around that when you're working on a Ford. But here we got a Chevy, so it's normal, like everybody else. And you know, you can see not terrible. They're just kind of dirty. Over here, it's worse. This one is kind of crusty. Looks like some detonation on there, some junk on there. I don't know what that's going on there. This one's just a little sooty. A little more detonation, corrosion on this one here. This one looks like probably the worst out of all of them. I see some rust there. That's not good. And then this one looks, it's a little rusty, but not too bad. So we're gonna soak this thing down. I've got the Magic Juice, M-A-J-I-K, spelled correctly. And we're just gonna put that down in here. See if I can get you the right angle on this. It's tough to get in here. Make sure we get a bunch of this in here. I believe my buddy Travis named it Magic Juice with M-A-J-I-K. It's pretty cool. I like that name. This is ATF and some, I believe it's, which chemical was he have with this? It was ATF and acetone. That's what it was. ATF and acetone in this thing. That was the Magic Juice. So we're going to see what that does. I've got oil in here, all the spark plugs out. And I've got, I'm going to try the starter motor and just see what happens here, just to see if this thing has a heartbeat or whatever. I think it's going to turn over, but let's just see what happens. Okay, you guys watch here and see if this thing turns over. Let me know if it's spinning or not. Let's see what happens. Well, that's a big no. She's stuck. So now we have to go start taking a look at the jacking this thing up and see if we can turn the drive shaft or something here. We'll have to figure this out. Let that oil soak in there. At least our batteries are working good, and we know our starter motor's working good. So that's great. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, so we got that engine that's stuck here. Anytime you're trying to jump a truck, by the way, we'll just talk about this for a minute with a stick shift. You always want to put this in high gear, okay? A lot of guys, they say, oh, you got to put it in low gear to turn an engine over with by trying to tow the truck and roll the engine over, and it doesn't work that way. This truck has a 5-speed transmission in it, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put it in 4th. 5 is usually, a lot of times it's 1-to-1. I don't know if this one's an OD. Is this OD? No. It's 5 speed, and this truck is 1-to-1 on the 5 on the other end. But I'm going to put it in 4th just so I don't put too much strain on the transmission. And is that the siren? Hey, the siren works. Sweet. Okay, we just tested the siren. That's check off the box. See if the turn signals work. Nope. All right, well, we'll play with that in a minute. But I want to put it in gear. I've got the parking brake off. I've got the truck up on the jack here in the back. And I've got the front wheel chalked here, both sides. And what I did was I jacked this up so this can... Was this thing turn, or is this stuck too? This is the one. Is this the one that's stuck? This is the one that's stuck. Well, maybe we'll get this thing to come free if we turn this drive shaft with a pipe wrench, because that's what we're going to try. Get under here, and we got this drive shaft over here, and we're going to throw a pipe wrench on that, see if we can get this thing to turn. Maybe I'll get the brake to free up in the back. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. There we go. So one of several things is going to happen here. Either A, the engine's going to come free. B, the clutch is going to slip, and then we'll know we have a bad clutch. It might just slip anyway because there's a lot of force. Or it shouldn't, but or C, we're just not going to do anything. So let's see what happens. I think it moved a little bit. All right. Old timers will take they'll take a floor jack and put it underneath the pipe wrench to push on it overnight. Let the oil sit in there, and they'll turn it over with the floor jack and to release it. But I think I gotta move down a little bit. No, it's not moving. I can't put enough force on it. This thing is, the parking brake's not on. It's in 4th gear, but it's just not enough. I can't put enough force on the wrench to move this thing. And the crank pulley bolt on this Chevy is 5/8 socket, so that means it's a 7/16 thread. So it's too small to put a wrench on and try to turn it that way. And I tried the starter motor. That's doesn't seem to be working. Next thing might be I can go and put a bar. Might have to pull the starter motor and put a bar in there on the starter motor on the ring gear. That's probably gonna be next. All right, everybody. So I want to show you underneath this Chevy here. This truck is really cool. I know we're upside down right now, but I believe this is a 348. I'm not familiar with this series of engine at all, but this is super cool. There's an access hatch on here, like an automatic flywheel pan. So cool. You don't have to take the starter motor out. I started taking the starter motor out and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even notice there's a pan here, and to get to this standard shift transmission. And this transmission is a 5-speed. It's huge, so it's really long transmission, and for some reason they've got a an access cover here, which is super handy. And now we can get the pry bar in here and get this thing freed up, possibly. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna have to put the camera down here and use 2 hands for this. Go to pry bar number 2. All right, I think what we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna have to pull these wheels off, and then we're gonna have to cut these brake lines, get these brake lines off of here, and then undo these wheel cylinders and hit them in. In fact, you know, without even doing that, I might be able to hit those in like that. Let me just try that. And take these bolts out here. Let me just see what happens. Those are 1/2-inch bolts. Let's see if we get lucky. Ouch. Alright, we're back. Try to get this oops. Let's see if I can get in here like this. Wow. Well, that's really rusted. This thing is it's in a swamp. It's almost like this thing was in a swamp. Okay, got it loose. There's one. So what I'm gonna do is pop this wheel cylinder in towards the brakes and see if I can help break free some of this stuff. I don't know if it's gonna help or not, but we'll find out. All right, that moved. Okay. All right, now we're going to loosen the other side here. All right, got that out. Okay, hit this one in. Okay. Nope. The shoes are just stuck on there. Gonna have to pull these wheels off and get these brakes out of here first. Then we're gonna put them back on again. Then we can tow this thing, see if we can get the engine freed up. It's gonna be a little bit of work. Well, want to show everybody where we're at right now. We've made it a decent distance here. We've got the wheels off. I pulled the axle, took all the washers and rings and bearings and stuff out of here. Everything's in good shape. That's the really good news. Then I started I wanted to take the outside bearing off because these brakes are really stuck in the back. Okay, they're really just seized to the drum. And the problem is with the GM brake system, there's a little star wheel in there you have to turn, and it moves the adjuster back and forth on each shoe. And that star wheel in this thing is seized solid, full of rust in there. It doesn't move. I tried heating it a little bit, putting some oil in there. It's not budging. It's got to come out and be completely redone on the bench, made new with some anti-seize, and then it won't do that again. But a trick here to get a drum off like this that's fighting you, I took the floor jack and put this underneath here, and I go over here, put this on the end, and what I did was I hit the drum down with a sledgehammer gently, carefully, not cracking the drum, and it moved down just without having the bearing in there. All the weight of the drum goes down and it starts to break that rust loose on those shoes. And then I get under here with a floor jack and go up, and if you watch, I did that a few times, and there it goes. It's turning. That is definitely 100% turning, independent of the axle housing, obviously, and everything else. So that is moving. Problem is, it's just really still stuck on there. I gotta see if I can move this drum with my hand. No, I gotta use the jack to move it. So it's still stuck, but it's coming free. It's starting to turn, which is a good thing. I think I'm gonna have to go back to jacking this thing up and beating on it some more here, but it's definitely improving things compared to anything else I could think of.
We're taking these drums off, and we found a mouse nest in there.
Damn.
They're living in there for a long time.
I'll be able to see this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's huge.
Wow, look at that. That's crazy. Okay, no wonder nothing moved. Is all full of mouse urine and everything else.
Oh yeah,
that's fun stuff.
Oh wow, yeah. It's
wow, that's
fully packed.
I've never seen that much mouse nest in a brake like this before. That's crazy. Wow. Wow.
It's insane.
Damn.
All right.
All right.
There you go.
Okay, everybody. So we ended up having to use an enter pack to get this thing off. Here's the drum, and you can see the rust, and the shoes were just jammed against the drum. It's impossible to release the mechanism because it's all full of mouse urine and everything. It's all, there's your star wheel. You can't even barely see it. It's all messed up. So that's the problem, and it's just a complete mess like the other side. So this side we're going to take all these brake parts apart. I'll show you how I do that, and then we'll take this whole thing off, and well, maybe we'll just save you the time of pulling the nuts and bolts off. It's really not that big of a deal, but we want to get the all these brakes apart and get this drum back on with the tires. Then we can roll this thing, and we'll be able to hopefully get that engine unstuck. Just wanted to show everybody the hobo camp that I had to build here. It's raining, light rain right now. Had to build a little hobo camp this morning to keep the rain off, working on the Slate Hill truck here. It's a lot nicer in here. A little bit of Boy Scout technology. Let's see. We're gonna pull this brake drum assembly off here, and I learned yesterday that, and you can see that it's bolted on. You can take this whole thing off without having to remove any of this stuff. So I'm going to go in the back. We're going to zip off these bolts, and hopefully this whole entire unit comes right off. Now, this whole thing can be taken apart and done on the bench instead of being done underneath the truck, so you can work like a human being. This is kind of neat. Just got a note, it goes in this position on an angle. You can see the wheel cylinders are on a 45 degree versus the cardinal direction. So I got pictures too, but yeah. Okay, time to go inside and bring this in, and then we got to put the drum back on next and the wheels, and then we can maybe take this thing and see if we can get the engine freed up. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we had to do here. Here's the brake parts we had to take out of the drum. This is just some of them. Just to take all these nuts and bolts and stuff out, springs, everything was seized. There's nothing wrong with the braking system, it works fine, but everything, just there's rust on everything, and we literally could not get, I literally could not get the drum off without taking off the front bearing here, and these nuts and retaining clips, retaining rings, and the drum. Now the drum spins great. There's no brake parts inside. I'm going to show you what we removed here. This is the other shoe, and here's your backing tube with all the stuff. We had to take all these bolts out. There's a couple of blind hole bolts on this side, 2 of them, and we had to take that all apart. So that was a lot of work to get that out of there, and everything here is stuck. These are the problem. These wheels get stuck in here, and there's rust, and there's no way to lubricate this after you put it together to get this to work. So you definitely need to have anti-seize and all this stuff before you put it together. The factory never used anti-seize. They didn't care. They're going to buy another truck in 10 years. You need to worry about it. So back out here now, we're going to put some tires back on. I have a little technique for this. Need the my tire spoon here. Bring this guy in here. You always want to put your valve stem in between these. You got to make sure it's in between, halfway in between one of these spokes here, and you get your tire in by walking it in like this. Get the bottom closer, then you tilt the top in. Go up like this. Get that stem in the middle. That tire in there. Get it on all the way. It's going to kick out the bottom. Take your spacer ring. Put your spacer ring on. Then you take your other outer dual. Bring that over. You always want to make sure your valve stem is 180 out from the other valve stem. My valve stem is right here on this inner tire. So this outer tire, of course, it's in the wrong spot. So we want to roll this guy around and get it as far as we can. On a pentagon, you can only go two away from something. You can't, it's not even. one wheel successfully freed up on this truck. Now we got to go to wheel number 2 tomorrow. Stay tuned, keep that old iron running.